Okay, on page 8, you need yellow, light green, and dark green. We're going to start at number 2 where it says mountains. Whether your mountains are rocky and rugged or full of trees and bushes, the mountains that are the closest to you will be darker and more detailed. The mountains farthest away are the lightest and less detailed. Using your color pencils, we're going to shade this mountain range so that it looks three-dimensional. You may blend colors. A black and white example has been given. Now, this is the black and white example. We're going to color this one in. When there's leaves and bushes, green things that are growing, we put an undercoat of yellow very lightly across all your mountains, please. And let's say that our light source is going to go toward the mountains this way, like if the sun was there. With your regular green, the first 3 mountains closest to us are going to be the darkest. So I want you to use your regular green, and I want you to color them in sort of heavy. Now where this mountain overlaps this one, there's going to be, and I have my dark green, there's going to be a little shadow right there. And where this one overlaps this one, there's going to be a little shadow right there. Where the sun hits the mountains, you'll use your yellow and you'll push pretty hard just at the top. We're not doing the whole mountain. For where the sun hits. And the sun's going to hit here on this side and on this side to make it look like the light's hitting it a little bit. Am I going too fast?
Nope.
With your dark green, on the other side where the sun's probably not going to get to very much, not real hard, but we're just going to put a little bit of dark green there, like right in here, right in here. So there's our first row of mountains. Our second row we're going to do the same way, except it needs to be lighter green than the first one, and it needs to be noticeably lighter. So you're not going to push your pencil as much. We're doing this with the pressure of our pencil, and it needs to be noticeably lighter. Where the sun hits, we're going to make it more yellow. where they overlap, the first mountains overlap the second, there's going to be a little bit of dark shade. And on the opposite side of where the sun is, it's going to be a little darker on that side. And the last mountain should be the lightest. Dark, medium, and light. It should be even lighter than your middle mountains. Almost a yellow-green. Where it overlaps here, there's going to be a little dark. Where the sun hits it on this side, there's going to be heavy yellow. And there are mountains in 3D. So if you have mountains in your 2-point perspective city that you drew, the big one, then that's how you would color them in, okay, according to where your light source is. Is everybody ready to start the next one? Okay, the next one are trees and leaves. Remember, if it's green, then we're going to put an undercoat of yellow. And even if it were fall leaves, I would still put a very light undercoat of yellow. Now, for trees, if you look at leaves of trees, they're actually gathered in bunches from like one limb. So they're in little clusters. So when you color it in, you should think of little clusters. Not a lollipop tree. And then some dark green to give it a little more depth. The leaves, I'm going to go with a light coat of the light green. And I'm going to accent it a little bit with the dark green. Usually it's a little darker right where it connects to the branch. And it sort of gets lighter as it goes out because it's coming out into the light a little more. For your tree, are you ready for your tree? Okay, let's get brown and dark blue. Brown and dark blue. Now the tree trunk is like a cylinder. No, dark blue. Do you not have one?
No.
It should have a dark blue in there. Are you sure it doesn't? Okay. Remember how the cylinder was darker on both sides and got lighter as it went toward the middle? That's what we're going to do with the brown. So we're going to go darker on the sides. And with the pressure of the pencil, we're going to go lighter toward the middle. Now, if you want to make the sides even darker, if you use your dark blue and go right over top of the brown, it will make it look dark. When I'm using watercolors and I want to tone the blue down, I add a little touch of brown. Now, for the limbs, if the light's hitting this way, then the middle of the limbs are going to be light and the sides are going to be dark. And basically what you're going to do is just outline and leave the middle white. And if there isn't a middle because your pencil's not sharp enough, that's fine. But we're just sort of outlining it. And this would all be a matter of where your light source is. But we know that the light source is hitting right here because the middle of the tree is lighter. And so if you drew trees in your 2-point perspective, then this is how you would shade them in with color. Okay? Is everybody with me? Are you ready for the next one? Okay, let's turn to page 9. And there's a cylinder, number 4. And let's choose red. The cylinder that you did the other day was darker on the sides and lighter in the middle, like the tree trunk. Okay, so let's do this one the same way for right now. Darker on the sides. And then with the pressure of your pencil, you're going to get lighter as you go toward the center. You don't want it to look striped though. You want to look like it smoothly fades into the next value. And if you wanted to make the sides a little darker, you could use brown or blue on top of the red a little bit to darken it up. Now if you had a cylinder and the light was coming, let's say, hitting right here, then this side would be very dark, and then as it came around it would get lighter and lighter and lighter. You see what I mean? For your bricks, I have bricks and I have what I call planks or boards. Do you remember how we did the sidewalks with the pencil? We went down one side and then the bottom. We're going to do that with the bricks. The same side and the same bottom. Now the bricks that have been cut off and they're halfway, we don't see the side, but we can do the bottom. And it'll look something like that at first. And we can't smudge color pencils the way we can regular pencils. So what we're going to do is just use our pencil now and put a very light coat of red all over everything. And still, this depends on where the light source is, but for just general knowledge, that's how you would do bricks. It might look a little funky when you're close to it, but when you hold it away from you, it'll look pretty good. Okay? Now boards. The boards are the same as the bricks. Down one side, only it's longer this way. Down one side and longer this way. Yes, sir. I don't know. Ask somebody near you. I can't see it from here. I'm sorry. It's dark and I'm old. And then very lightly put a light coat of brown on it. And the very last one is the box, and it's just like the box we did. And I used, let's try purple. We haven't used purple. Violet. The very top is going to be really, really light. The very end is going to be really, really dark. Like you have to push pretty hard. And then the side is your 50%. It's going to be darker than the light, but lighter than the dark. And one way that I really make my corners shine is I'll make it a little darker at the corner and then just lighten it up as it goes down. And that sort of distinguishes it between the top, if that makes sense. So, if your buildings are smooth, this is how you do it. If your buildings have bricks or wood, you would do it this way. If you have trees or poles or anything like that, you would use that. Trees, bushes and leaves, and mountains. Now, before you put anything away, bless you, bless you, bless you. Atmospheric perspective, the sky. The sky closest to the horizon line is lighter and it gets darker as it goes up. So on the mountains, I'm going to start really, really light, and then as I go up, I'm going to push a little harder until it gets darker. Really, really light, and then as it goes up, it's going to get a little darker. And to be atmospheric perspective, I need to see that the top is a little darker and that it gets lighter as it goes down. And if you look at it, it makes it look a lot more 3D. I'm going to go over the sun here too. Now, if it were a night sky, it would be darker at the horizon line and lighter as it goes up. If it would be the opposite. So if you have a sky in your 2-point perspective city drawing, it's lighter at the bottom and darker as it goes up away from the horizon line. Okay, that's it.